Now, if anything in there starts to go south, you just stay behind me and let me take care of everything.
Last time on Lost Legends of Scadrial.
Oh, you're here about the horse bear.
Does seem a little suspicious that after she showed up all interested in the horse bear, that's when these attacks started.
Actually almost looks as if a human has taken a bite out of this cow. Now stop right there and let me know what the hell you think you're doing chasing this young lady. I don't understand what you were thinking. In the flickering light of the cave, you see a very skittish-looking, deformed beast. You notice that it has vaguely human features that have been distorted.
Finn, why don't you go with Miss Beladora into town? Bring me back a large rope and a bushel full of dried meat.
And you notice that at the end of the hall, the lawkeeper that confronted everyone earlier is sitting outside of Belle's room.
I thought that you might be more excited to see the creature that had committed these acts to these cows.
Welcome back, Finn. I hope you got that meat.
Yes, I've got the meat. We've also brought along Miss Saray, willingly, and our overambitious lawmaker is also coming with Bella.
Our plan was to fake the death of some other animal, and you brought that lawmaker, the one who doesn't know how to mind his own business, into our business.
Hello, and welcome back to the Lost Legends of Scadrial Mistborn Adventure Game Podcast. I'm your host and narrator, Trevor, and with me we have the rest of the well-roasted dusters.
Hello, I'm Lena. I play Beladora Wilde.
I'm Zach, and I play Finnigan Bomon.
I'm John, and I play Clydus Logan.
Let's jump back in. I'm pretty excited to see where this goes. So we last left off, Clydus is off in the distance, having a nice little walk with his new friend Fella. Finn was left at the cave, and Bella is bringing Doomy and Belle towards the cave. So what I think I'm going to do is give everybody one beat if they want to use it before the party reaches the cave, and then we'll go from there. So let's start with Clydus. Is there anything that you wanted to do?
Nope. I'll save some comedic relief for later.
All right. Let's jump over to Finn then. You are in the cave. Clydus has just left. Is there anything that you're wanting to do before Doomy, Belle, and Bella get back?
That's a good question.
Real quick refresher. For one, Bella, when you found that clump of hair in the bush, did you take it off the bush and take it with you, put it somewhere, anything like that?
Honestly, yeah, I probably put it in my pocket as much as that pains me.
Okay. So Finn, the only real distinct things in this cave are one, the new tracks that the creature has put on the floor, but then the go ahead and give me a spirit roll.
Oh gosh.
You find a second monster.
That's 4.
Pair of 4s?
Oh no. That's...
No, yeah, 4 dice.
1s and a nudge.
Okay, with 1s and a nudge, you go back to the place where you saw that the what looked like it could have been some sort of rudimentary drawing has been partially obscured by the pacing of this thing, but it's still, there's enough of it there that with a good enough roll, you might be able to convince somebody that's what it is. So, but that's the only thing really left in the cave, unless you're going to try and find something in some other way.
Okay.
Bella, you have one opportunity for one more devious trick before you get to the cave.
Okay, I think that Bella has realized that her usual tricks are not working as well as they usually do, and so she is going to spend the remainder of the trip just trying to convince them not to make any, like, sudden movements or, not to draw any weapons or anything, because that might set off the creature immediately and then we'll all die.
Okay, go ahead and give me a charm roll. I don't think that I'm going to give it to you for skillful manipulator on this one since you're being more genuine and honest, but I will give it to you for beguiling smile.
Okay.
I think that's kind of how we'll play that. Is one of them is for when Bella is being more genuine and like more warm and more out of her character because she can fake it, and then the other one's for when she's just being conniving.
Okay, sounds good. Oh, that was some 4s and a nudge.
Okay. Yeah, with that, Doomy had kind of been keeping his hand on his gun, but he'll go ahead and give you a nod and put it back on the reins of the horse as they draw closer towards it.
What do you know? Sometimes honesty is the best policy.
Sometimes.
Not
Definitely
usually,
sometimes. So they arrive at the cave. Doomy is going to stop and let you take the lead.
Well, if you insist, and I will continue on into the cave.
Okay, and we'll say that the cave isn't like tall enough or anything, so that way everybody has to get off and leave their horses tied up. And that you found like a tree that was far enough away from the cave the first time that it didn't alarm the creature when it came back. And so you find where Stallion and Cappuccino have been tied to this tree, and tie your horses there and head back into the cave. And you step in first, and when you get to the bottom, you see Finn.
Good news, ladies and gentlemen. That is not our monster. But bad news, that is not our monster.
Well, I don't understand. Where's this thing supposed to be at?
I don't know, Finn?
Well, you know, I think Clydus is currently tracking it.
He is?
Pretty sure.
Well, that's unfortunate.
I'm pretty sure he's right on its tail.
I'm not particularly good at tracking myself, so I don't know how much help I will be in this regard.
Well, that's why we leave it up to him, because he's good at it.
At this point, that you've noticed that Belle is standing at the mouth of the cave, and she's kind of trembling a little bit, whereas Doomy's just a couple spaces forward from her looking in. Everybody go ahead and give me a wits roll. Who's there?
Nothing.
That is 1s and 2 nudges.
You kind of get a weird feeling about like what's going on, but like you can't quite, just something seems off with it. With Belle and how she's acting. But that's all you get from that. So
Miss Saray, are you okay?
I'm just so this cave, it's why I ran in the first place, and now the creature isn't even here and you lied to me.
About what exactly?
You said I could see it, and I'm facing my fear in the mouth of this cave, and you lied to me.
I couldn't exactly predict that it was going to leave, could I?
Well, I've had a roller coaster of relationship with you folks here, and I have to say that kind of was what was advertised. Maybe Miss Ray and I should head back to town until you actually get this thing under control.
Okay. Just to be clear. Clydus isn't tracking the thing. The thing is with Clydus.
What?
We're not entirely sure what it is, but it definitely isn't any kind of horse bear. It has some kind of sentience. It's at least somewhat understands us talking to it, that I know of. But something is very strange here, and it's not a horse bear.
Well, why weren't they here when we got back? Did you tell them what?
We didn't want... I didn't want you to come in here guns a-blazing and accidentally set the thing off. Because whatever it is still dangerous.
So what's the plan then?
We're not entirely sure what the plan is, to be completely honest, sir.
I'm really not seeing why we shouldn't head back to town right now. How do I know you're not just distracting me so your whole lost-blooded friend can come in here and ambush us?
Well, he's
I don't think we're smart enough to do that, frankly.
Belle gives kind of like a little cough, and you see a smirk on the edge of her face.
Look, we're not entirely sure what this thing is, but it has human teeth, it has human characteristics, and bestial characteristics. It's something that is very, very strange, and I think it possibly is interesting enough to need some further study before we decide to, just kill it.
Well, what does that have to do with me and Mr. Ray?
Well, Mr. Ray wanted to get a look at the thing, and we thought she might, she's been tracking it. We thought she might have some kind of insight into what it is if she, got a look at it.
You're a scholarly sort, Mr. Ray. I believe the Clydus was considering bringing it back to Ellendale to have someone examine it. Do you think that would be a good idea?
Go ahead and give me a charm roll +1 for skillful manipulator.
Okay. We're not rolling great today. That's 3s and a nudge.
3s and a nudge is good enough. You notice as you're saying this that her eyes kind of grow a little bigger, and give me a wits roll as well.
Okay. That's nothing.
Okay. So you're focused completely on her face, and you notice that her eyes get a little bit wide, and that they narrow a little bit, and just a very, very slight flush of red goes up on her cheeks. I'm going to go ahead and take one more willpower away from her, and then she is going to stop for a moment, and she tries to make it look like she's being thoughtful, but you know that she's taking a moment to bring herself better under control from those visual cues you've seen. And she looks over at you and she says, I don't think that would be a good idea, because we know that this thing is dangerous. It's been slaughtering cows, and I mean,
but it hasn't hurt a human being.
It's
been hunting.
And Clydus has managed to get it under control to the best of our abilities and knowledge, so I don't really see the harm in bringing it back to Ellendale. I'm sure there are some very knowledgeable people there who might be able to figure out what it is and how it came to be here.
But what if you have it under control and you told your friend to take it away? Did you just bring me in this cave to torture me then?
I mean, I just said that Clydus seemed to have it under control, so...
Well, what we wanted to do was control the circumstances when and where the beast is, because it still can be unpredictable, and we wanted to control the circumstances as much as possible.
Does that mean that it's going to come back here at some point?
Well, I don't know.
With meat. It likes jerky.
Well, it ain't that something. This is quite the tall tale that you've told me, and I feel like I've been patient up to this point, but I'm not sure if it's real fruitful use of my time to be out here away from the comforts of society, waiting on a monster that you supposedly have under control.
Well, you can leave then.
Well, if I go, Mr. Ray goes with me.
Sure, and then we can go hunt down that creature, bring it back to Ellendale, and hopefully somebody there will be able to tell us what it is.
Go ahead and give me another charm roll +1.
Just trying to keep pushing her buttons. Oh, baby, that is 5s and a nudge.
Okay, with the 5s and the nudge, I'm going to go ahead and take her willpower down another 2. Give me just a second, I lost my page here. Okay. And she's actually going to take a social burden for this, or a mental burden with this, where she's going to be stressed out to the max. I'm not sure how to correctly phrase that. Anybody like
anxiety attack?
I'm not sure.
Nervous breakdown.
Sure, nervous breakdown, or something of that sort. And she's going to shout at you, actually just straight up shout, and say, "No, that is not a good idea. This creature, I've seen what it can do, and it needs to be destroyed. Why would we let something so dangerous be alive? It can open doors, you said?"
Possibly. We don't know.
Well, wait a minute. We never said it could open doors, did we?
Did we say that in front of her?
I'm going to not metagame on this and let you guys figure that out.
Oh, God.
Ah, dang it.
I don't think we did.
I don't think so either. I'm pretty sure that's just a conversation we had amongst ourselves.
Now, Miss Saray, how did you know it could open doors and gates?
Finn, go ahead and give me a wits roll +2.
That is 5s.
Oh, nice roll. She got 2 4s and a nudge. I could have sworn that you...
We never told you anything of the sort. We led you to believe that what we found was a horse bear up until this point. And horse bears, as far as I know, according to the legends, have never opened doors. Or lion bears, for that matter.
Diumi's going to look over at Belle, and he's going to put his hand back on his pistol and say, "Miss Ray, I think that you and I are staying right here for the time being, and don't make any sudden movements." And at that, we're going to jump over to Clydus.
Alright, so Clydus is currently teaching Fella how to do the cat's cradle, and Fella has his hands like all tangled up in the string. No. You want to go underneath that one. You don't want to try and go over.
Every once in a while, as you're trying to teach it this, it leans forward to try and start chewing on the string.
Aww.
Oh, stop that. You're just going to ruin it.
Are you moving back at any point, or are you just kind of hanging out for the time being?
I think we're just doing a big circle around the cave.
Okay, go ahead and give me a spirit roll.
Alright. I did not get anything, just a 1 and a nudge.
Okay. So if you're just kind of doing a big circle, we'll go ahead and jump back to the cave then. If there's any more role play that Bella and Finn want to do.
Well, now, Miss Saray, it seems like you know a little bit more than you were letting on in the first place.
Well, I had the theories from what I had seen that night, but like I said, it was dark, and I just didn't think it was important to mention it before.
You also told me that it was on 4 legs. Tell me, how does a 4-legged creature open a door?
Well, you did kind of notice that it tends to, when it's trying to move more quickly, use 4 legs. So you saw it like approach on its hands and its legs when it came up to the cave. And then when it's moving more slowly and deliberately is when it's up on 2.
Now, Trevor, did the creature have any scars similar to the ones that were in her book? Like the incisions in her book?
Give me a wits roll at -2.
Oh, gosh.
Because nobody took the time to fully examine it.
Nothing.
Yeah, you don't know. I'm sorry if I didn't mention that before, but I'm just, this place makes me so nervous.
Miss Ray, if I may call you that. Obviously, having this creature around has really affected the business and tourism in Hammond. Except for you. Now, maybe not having people in the library is something that you would have preferred. Were you maybe looking for something specific?
What people do in the library is really no concern of mine.
I was hoping.
But go ahead and give me a charm roll on that.
Okay. One's in a nudge.
She kind of looks away as she says it and seems to be a little evasive.
No, I do remember there was a book missing after you left. Before we started chasing you, of course. Maybe that's what you had been looking for. Yeah, I've got nothing.
What are you babbling about?
Oh, it's me. I'm a babbler. It happens. Babble, babble, babble. That's all I do. Sometimes it's to great effect. Other times it's not to so much great effect. But I mean, it's a long family tradition. The Bowman family of babbling.
I have a kind of meta question.
Sure.
Would she, so did we kind of get an idea of where she would have been standing, when she saw the creature? Or, like, in the vicinity of where she might have been in?
Yeah, I think she might have, like, probably where you've got the horses tied up. It would be, like, the tree that she was hiding crouched at.
Okay, and...
Or that she says she was hiding crouched at least.
Yeah, when she saw the creature, would she have had a view of the gate that was opened?
I'm gonna make you do a spirit roll on this.
Yeah, no. That was 2 ones.
Okay, what's her spirit? She got 2 3s.
Damn it.
So yeah, the tree that was by the gate was definitely, like, she would have had a pretty good full sight of the gate. And then you also know where the tree was, where she said she saw the cave and got too scared to go in and left.
That one could have been good. Too bad.
Okay, let's go back to Clydus then.
Alright, so Clydus is now trying to show him coffee beans and stop him from eating them. No, that's not what you're supposed to be doing. You need to brew them first and then you drink it. And he just kind of shows him the tin cup and kind of shakes it a bit.
Go ahead and give me a physique roll. And I have to flip my book real quick.
Do I get my Kolos bonus?
No, it's not about strength in this case.
Alright. 3s and a nudge. If I was better with my elementic symbols, I'd tell you which nudge that was.
It got 4s and 2 nudges. So it actually, as you're saying this, and like you're kind of gesturing with the bag for emphasis, or tin or whatever it is that you've got the beans in, and as you like point it at it, fella reaches up quick as a lick and like puts its hand into it and pulls out a whole fistful of beans and just shoves it in his mouth and starts eating as quickly as it can.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh, right.
Oh no.
This can't end well. Drink time, I guess. Let's find the nearest stream.
Give me a spirit roll.
Alright, all of my 2. Nope, just a 1 and a 4. I got nothing.
You're not able to find a stream nearby.
Just keep searching.
And give me a wits roll. Do you have something? Yeah, +1 for grizzled.
I got 4s and a nudge.
Okay, so you're able to pretty well keep track of like where you've been walking and how far away you are, and so you don't feel uncomfortable straying a little bit further to try and find, you know, some sort of stream or something. Was there a particular reason why you were looking for a stream?
To help dilute some of that caffeine.
Oh, okay, just to make it drink.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, we'll say that you're off in search of one, but it's going to take a little bit longer than if you had rolled better.
Sounds good.
And we're going to jump back to the cave. We'll say at this point that there's been a good silence for a while, and that you guys have been waiting at the cave for maybe an hour or so. And Belle looks over at Doomy, and she's going to say, "How long are we going to keep this charade up? It is not a good place for me to stay in this cave. It terrifies me, and I just want to go back to the hotel room. Is that much to ask?"
You know, for someone who is so interested in looking for the horse bear, you're awfully scared of its lair.
if you're not scared, then I just don't think that you understand. And she is going to get a charm roll on Mr. Dude. That is not good enough. Miss Saray, if we find this creature and put this all to rest, then you can be in that hotel room for the rest of your life for all I care. But at the moment, I'm very interested to see how this all plays out.
You and me both.
I've been interested in how this plays out for a month.
Meta humor.
Yay!
Everybody give me a wits roll in the cave.
Nothing in a nudge.
That is 4s in a nudge.
I put the difficulty at 5 to find something new in the cave. So, you start looking around, and, you start poking in different places. You do notice that the, imprint is still there on the floor. That kind of looked like a rudimentary drawing, but beyond that, you're not able to find anything else in the cave.
What does the rudimentary drawing look like again?
It was like a house, is what one of them was described as. And I think one of them was like, from the right angle, it could look like a person. We'll say that the person's kind of been erased out from the roll earlier, but the house still generally, if you look at it from exactly the right angle, still looks like it's there.
Does the house have any particular characteristics?
No, it's very abstract.
Very abstract? Okay.
Yeah, it would take a roll to convince somebody else that this looked like a house.
Am I able to notice the drawing?
Yeah, you were in the cave before and had seen it.
Okay. Mr. Lawkeeper, I might want to show you something that we found in this cave. It very might well have been made by that creature. And I'm going to show him the drawing.
Okay, go ahead and give me a wits roll.
Oh, God. I've had to do so many of these. Surely one time it'll work out. That was 2 3s.
Okay, yeah, with 2 3s, you kind of like step over and you hitch up your dress so that way it doesn't drag against the floor when you go to bend down. But you bend down and you point him exactly in the right position. He says, that does kind of look like a house, but what proof do we have that the thing actually did this and that your friend with the Kolos blood didn't scribble something in the dirt while we were gone?
I don't think he's that creative, to be honest with you.
I've seen his drawing. He doesn't draw that well.
John, has Finn seen Clydus draw?
Nope.
Okay, Finn, give me a charm roll.
2s.
Okay, he nods at that and completely accepts it as fact.
Prejudice for the win.
All right, fair enough.
Now, Mr. Lawkeeper, clearly this creature has some form of intelligence. I just think it would be a right shame if we just decided to kill this thing. If it's dangerous, then at the very least we've taken it away from your little town here, and hopefully it'll be in the hands of some very intelligent people who can control its chaos, and at the very least keep it out of your jurisdiction.
Give me a charm roll and no bonuses this time.
Okay. Fours and a nudge.
Well, if you were able to arrange for it to be gone this whole time, then I suppose that does demonstrate there's some truth to what you're saying about it being able to be controlled. So if time comes when it gets here, that proves to be the case, I have no problems with that. But I do need to know what is Miss Ray's involvement in all this? There's only so long I can keep her out here under reasonable suspicion, and if we don't have a reason to keep her, then I don't want to keep somebody held prisoner against their will.
Well, I would very much like to know what her deal in all this is as well, but she doesn't seem very inclined to talk.
What she means by that is, I think she knows a little bit. Just being in this cave, it seems she knows more about this creature than she was originally letting on.
Go ahead and give me a charm roll for that, Finn.
Oh, gosh.
And I'm going to add +1 for her having the nervous breakdown.
I thought you were going to go with the tourism thing again and bang on that.
Threes.
You know, that's just simply not true. I knew this before. I just didn't think to tell you because I wasn't sure. Maybe they had left the gate open and it just wormed its way in. How was I supposed to know that? Do I look like I'm the one who created all this mess?
No, but I think you're the one that created the monster.
Give me another charm roll.
Ah! Why do I keep doing this? Fours and a nudge. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
She got 3s and a nudge. And how would I do that? How would a person even create a monster? Do you know anything about hemorrhagy at all?
No.
No, I don't, but it appears you do.
And at that, Doomy is going to look very, very closely at her. Yeah, Miss Saray, why don't you tell us what exactly you know about, what is it, hemorrhagy? Because I don't think that it would even be common knowledge at this point.
It is in the words of Founding.
Is it? Because I thought
Yeah.
Sazed tried to suppress knowledge of that.
I guess maybe he put it in there and then tried to suppress it. Because
Or
at least
does
as
he
far
like
as the...
he doesn't detail what it is. He just mentions it in passing, doesn't he?
Oh, how to do it? No, but he does explain that's how the Khandra and Kolos were made.
Okay. I don't
Unless
think
that
it's,
was retconned from the Hero of Ages.
I don't think then that's something that the Lawkeeper necessarily would have read. So
Yeah, makes sense.
He'll be in the dark about that.
It'd be like someone knowing Leviticus by heart,
Mhm.
you know? Some people
Yeah.
do, but...
Yeah, and I don't think that he follows the path or anything like that either. Just from the image I've built of him in my mind. I would very much like to know what this hemorrhagy is. And she's also going to take another 2 reputation damage from that. Or not reputation, willpower damage. But for the moment, she's just going to keep her mouth shut while glaring furiously at everyone in the cave.
I'm curious, Miss Saray, did those books on anatomy and all those strange notes that you had in that little book, did that have anything to do with this hemorrhagy that you're speaking of?
That is just research of my own making. It's nothing to do with anything.
Well, hemorrhagy is an odd thing.
It's
to
proprietary
research.
information. I can't tell you about that.
Well, I would very much love to know why you're doing research on such a thing.
And what even would it be? What, why don't you just have it out? How do you think I created this monster?
Metal
I don't
earring.
know. That's why we're asking.
Oh. Would Finnigan know about metal and at least the metal part of hemorrhagy? Like, it did have an earring. I do remember noticing that.
Finn he doesn't follow the path. I don't think you've ever mentioned him being Pathian or anything like that.
Yeah, I think we're all survivorists.
And then I'm not even sure that you've ever been like staunch on that, or if you're just kind of along for the ride on the survivorist anarchy. But in terms of 1, not following the religion, and then 2, being a dock worker, I'm just not so sure Finn would have read Words of Founding either.
Well, would I at least know, like, metal connected to? Because the creature did have an earring. I do remember Finnigan noticing that.
Mm-hmm. Give me a wits roll.
Okay.
Pretty high difficulty.
Nothing.
Yeah, so you wouldn't put that together. So I think this is when we're going to have Clydus show back up. With enough time having passed between all of the different vignettes that we've done tonight. Clydus, what have we been using for you to deal with Animal's charm?
I think so, yeah.
Go ahead and give me a charm roll. Get 1 for your regular.
Okay.
Pretty high.
I want to say that we arrive running back, and the whole time Clydus is like, yeah, "That's right, get out all that energy because you're going to be pretty hot for the rest of the night."
Okay, go ahead and give me a physique roll first, and then the result of this might give you a boost in your charm.
All right, no Kolos.
Nope. Or go ahead and add 1, because I think it would make you able to endure more, but it's not a direct physical strength thing.
2s.
Okay, you get a bonus nudge for your charm roll.
That's 6, right? With my Wrangler?
I think
5.
just 5.
Keep looking at my wits instead of my charm.
Okay, so when you get back, Fella has been loping along next to you, using all 4 appendages, and you get back to the cave, and you're both kind of panting, and it looks like relatively happy, even though it still seems a little amped up. And so, coming into this cave, you're able to keep it nice and calm as you hear voices and kind of explain that everything might be a little more different in there.
All right, fella, now listen up here, and he tosses him some meat. You've been real good so far, and I want you to stay good. There's some people inside, so be prepared. They may not be super friendly, but we want you to stay that way. You got me?
And Clydus, are you going in with it or by yourself?
Oh, definitely with it.
Okay. So Clydus, and Fella come into the cave, and everybody give me a spirit roll.
Oh, God.
Clydus, add 1, or add 2 to your spirit roll.
Yes! 5s.
Nothing.
3s.
Okay, try as you might, Bella, as soon as you see it again, you let out a short little scream, just because it's so deformed from what you would normally expect those kind of features to look like. But with everybody else's calm and steady reaction, let me roll for Belle. No, that wasn't a Bella, that was Belle. Just to clarify.
Mm-hmm.
She did not roll anything, and so she kind of gives a gasp, and her eyes go wide, and she starts to look nervous, but not out of fear. And everybody who succeeded on that spirit roll can notice that.
You don't seem very afraid, Miss Saray. You seem more surprised.
Finn, I thought the plan was to get rid of him.
Well,
Why'd you have me take a hike with Fella here if we were all just going to have a conversation anyway? Oh, this is Fella, by the way. He gestures to Fella.
Hi, Fella, I guess.
There's been some developments, to say the least.
Oh, what's that?
Well, Miss Saray knows exactly what this thing is. Something to do with hemalurgy.
You are only theorizing that, and it is just a gross lie, and I demand to be let go immediately.
You know, I think we've all been fairly truthful in this cave, at least, except for you.
I don't know what you're talking about. And give me another
You
charm.
were the first one to bring up hemalurgy, Miss Saray.
Clydus,
4s.
you know exactly what hemalurgy is and how its practices are.
Oh, yeah. Wait a minute. You trying to create some kolos?
What?
Why are we talking about hemalurgy?
What do you mean trying to create some kolos?
Well, that's how you make kolos. You take a big metal stake, and you get 4 people, and you stab it into them, and then you get a kolos.
Wow, that's gruesome.
Yep.
Clydus, give me a wits roll +1. Actually, add another one for her nervous breakdown.
4s and a nudge.
At this point, her willpower is completely snapped, and Belle starts running for the mouth of the cave towards you.
Clydus is going to immediately grab his lasso and lasso her.
Go ahead and give me a physique roll.
Oh, dude, I'm getting flashbacks.
+1 for bounty hunter. Or quick draw.
Thank you.
Or did I give it to you for both last time?
I don't remember, but I got 3s and a nudge.
Yeah, exactly like last time. You whip your lasso out, and you throw it around her, pull it tight around her ankles, and she falls to the floor of the cave. Give me a charm roll +1.
All right. 4s.
Okay. Fella immediately jumps forward and jumps on the back of Bella. And you try and calm it as you notice the tension.
Hang on, Bella or Belle?
Or Belle, I'm sorry. On Belle.
Lena's like, that's a big distinction there.
And so you've got your hands full, so you're not able to reach over and restrain it or anything like that. And so it jumps onto Belle's back and starts attacking her.
Come on, fella. Get down.
I have one more charge for my rioting. I'm gonna start rioting its calm sense and its trust again.
And Finnigan is gonna try and restrain it using his charges.
Okay. Finn, it's gonna take you at least 2 beats to get there. Since she ran toward, yeah, so because in order for Clydus to be able to lasso her, she'd have to run past him. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
And so I think you would still be a little further in the cave. But in 2 rounds, I'll give you that opportunity. So, Bella, why don't you go ahead and give me a rioting roll? Are you flaring your metal?
Yes. Okay. Can I do that?
Yeah. A charge lasts, 20 minutes for zinc, John?
Yeah, I believe that's right.
Yeah, so it'll burn a little bit faster. I'd have to look up the exact roll, but we'll say that we'll give you just a couple of uses of it with it flared.
I think it's like,
and does that give me like an extra?
Okay.
Does that give me an extra?
An extra 1
dice. Okay. An extra 1. Fives and a nudge.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh,
so it takes its claws and it grabs one fistful of clothing without breaking the skin, and that's when you just slam on it with the peaceful let's see. You can't exactly riot calm. So we just got to figure out
trust, she said.
Trust.
Trust is probably the one that I would
so you slam on its trust. And Clydus, give me another charm roll +1. That's how we'll work this, is you'll give Clydus another chance.
Just a nudge.
It's going to pause, and it's going to allow Finn to get closer by 1 beat. So Finn would probably be right at the point where you are, Clydus, but you're were just... If you're okay with it, you were more holding onto the rope and trying to calm it for fear of what else you could do at that moment.
Finn, give him some meat.
Bella, give me another riding roll.
Okay. Still flaring. Another 5s and a nudge.
Okay, Clydus, same thing. Go ahead and add a die to this one. So 6 total.
Cool. 4s and a nudge.
So yeah, you drop the rope and you come over and you just put a hand on Fella's shoulder. And Fella lets go of the cloth.
No, I wouldn't have dropped the rope.
Okay. Well, with whatever way you would approach. But you put a hand on Fella's shoulder, and it kind of looks up to you, still hesitating because of this blast of trust that it's been hit with twice now. And you just give a small shake of your head, and it backs up off of Belle and goes and settles back down where it was before, although it still looks like it's the most hostile you've seen it, even when it first entered the cave, looking at Belle.
That's a good lad. Finn, come give him some meat. He's been good. My hands are full.
I feed Fella.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but that was quite a stark reaction it had to her trying to get away.
It really does not like you, Mr. Ray. It's almost as if it knows you. Care to comment?
she's actually just going to stay silent, but she's sobbing, and she's got just horribly sobbing, completely inconsolable, screaming out of rage every once in a while between sobs, but not really resisting in any way anymore either.
Should I hog-tie her?
I don't think that'll be necessary. You've more than illustrated your point of she's not getting away from you.
Fair enough. Someone could shut her up, though.
Boy, when I look at this thing, I don't think that any other way this worked out, I would have believed y'all folks, but it's everything that you said it was and more.
Fellow's a good lad. He just, he's got some instincts he needs to overcome, which I can relate to.
Did Belle drop anything when she was lassoed by chance?
She didn't really have anything on her. Like, the only thing that you found before going through was that book that you had already seen her in her room.
Oh, she still has that book on her?
Well, she doesn't because the Doomy took it away from her and like left it at the tavern, but
Gotcha.
It's still like accessible to a point.
Now, Lawman Doomy, I'm pretty sure that if we go take a look at that book, we might find some more information pertaining to this creature than we originally suspected.
I think that might be a good idea, except for one problem. There's no way in hell we're bringing this thing back to town. And he gestures at fella.
That's fine. He and I can spend some time together. We can go for another walk.
Well, I guess that just depends on how you folk want to play this, because I'm not so sure your original instincts are that far off base. Of taking this thing to a Lindell where someone who knows more than about this sort of thing can handle it.
Yeah, I told you, plan all along. Had to go and get other people involved in this mess.
Yeah, but now we don't have to do it under the cover of, cover.
Fair. Now I don't have to hunt a coyote.
And now Mr. Lawman might know exactly what caused this creature to exist in the first place.
All right, well, if you promise to bring it back, you can take possession of my lasso here so we don't have to try to transfer her some other way.
Now, I don't think that Mayor Hammond's going to be great about arresting one of the last folks that he's got visiting his town under such strange circumstances, because, to be honest, I don't know how we'd convince any magistrate of what just happened here.
All right, well, how do you want to play it then? As long as we get paid, I don't care that much.
What I'm thinking is that I tell Mayor Hammond that you've got the situation taken care of, and I'm arresting Miss Saray for training animals to kill cows.
Sounds good to me.
That way, everything's on the up and up. We don't have to convince anybody of this crazy story, but we still find a way to make sure that she doesn't get away from this.
Absolutely.
That sounds reasonable to me.
Okay, with that, I think we will go ahead and end this week's episode. We can go ahead and consider the Hamlet of Hemorrhagy completely finished.
Oh, is that the real name?
That's the real name. Let's give out some advancements and do a long breather before next episode, so we can just jump right into the episode then. I'm going to give everybody 5 advancements on this one, since it was such a long time, and you guys actually managed to pull it off. I'm not going to give anybody any negative bonus resources for this one. 1, because the town is super poor, and then 2, because this was more of a job you took to curtail your regular expenses that you hadn't been able to cover before taking the job. But the 5 advancements, and then feel free to spend one long breather worth.
Can we decide that for next episode?
Yeah, if we want to, we can go ahead and wait.
I do.
Sure.
Yep, I need to go pull up my book.
So did we get fella under the right hands in Ellendale?
We'll go ahead and roleplay that a little bit as part of the beginning of the next arc. So I think that we will go ahead and call it there for the night. Thank you guys so much for listening to the Hamlet of Hemorrhagy, and we will be back in 2 weeks to start what will be the last story arc of this campaign, or this season 1.5. We will be doing something that's not in the Mistborn Adventure Game supplement books at this point, and probably won't hit 16 episodes. We're probably going to go longer than that this season, just because I don't want to cut a story short if it's going to go longer than that. So the theming would have been great, but we're going to have more episodes for this season, and we will catch you in 2 weeks for the next one. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Mistborn and all related properties are owned by Brandon Sanderson and Dragonsteel Entertainment. The Mistborn Adventure Game, the Alloy of Law supplement, and the Masks of the Past supplement are owned by Crafty Games. Special thanks to Steve Argyle for letting us use his artwork for the logo, and to Boardroom Design for putting the logo together for us. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, and YouTube at LLOS Podcast, or join our Discord community. We hope that you'll give us a 5-star review on iTunes or whatever podcast provider you use. And make sure you tell a friend who loves Brandon Sanderson. Thanks for listening. Tune in next time. Hello!
This time on Lost Legends of Scadrial.
I'm going to use that. Well, say last time instead.
Last time on Lost Legends of Scadrial.
Alright, that's a wrap. Good job, everybody.
Perfect.
We'll do the rest in post.